Mabuhay everyone. This is Veronica. You're listening to Everything is Political, broadcasting here at Radyo Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM. Once again, happy Pride. We just entered August. You know it. Every first Wednesday of the month, Veronica is speaking under Everything is Political, my very own podcast. I guess like uniquely or unique mo, like broadcasting at Radyo Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM. Today, I am once again joined by
Mathilde, the wife.
exactly. And we are right in front of a little campfire. And this is going to be another stories between me and Matilde about politics and about everything that we want to talk about for today on a literal campfire. So, what are we going to talk about today? It's Pride.
It's also the Olympics. Who's been watching the Olympics,
Yeah.
guys?
Yes. Woohoo. We got our first ever gold. First ever gold for this
For the Philippines.
for the Philippines in gymnastics, the first gold in Paris 2024, and then the second gold
Who-
medal, I believe.
Only second. That's
Yes.
surprising.
Can you believe it? Last Olympics was the first gold medal that we've had, and it was in weightlifting, which is kind of traditionally for macho men, right? And turns out to be a woman who won the gold for us. And I'm not going to minimize it. She um, has been in the Olympics since Rio, I believe, and so she was
Say her name.
Heidelin Diaz.
Yes.
Of course, Heidelin Diaz. She's also champion, I guess, in the Southeast Asia. She's made a name for herself the same way that Carlos Yulo, who just won gold in artistic gymnastics and floor, um, yeah, won, and props to Jake Jarman as well, who is Filipino British. And so there were also rumors, according to the nets, that there might be a chance that he might represent the Philippines. His mother is Filipino and his father is British, and he represents Great Britain, and he won third. So
And
yeah.
he's good friends with Carlos Yulo. They meet every time the British guy goes to the Philippines.
Right, right. So it's a moment of reckoning, I guess, to people that like we've become more and more in the mainstream, in a good way, in a sense, I guess, because we've always been around. Did
But
you know that in
Filipinos-
Italy they literally name domestic workers Filipinas? It's like, I have a domestic worker, I have Filipina.
No. Oh, that's terrifying.
Yeah, so this type of representation is equally necessary, and the amount of seeds that's been constantly being planted to see Carlos Yulo, winning
Excelling in a
gold.
sport that is not basketball, mind you.
I know, because why do we keep on longing to become basketball players?
I have a conspiracy theory about it, and I have zero foundation for it. But I think that the US gave Filipinos basketball and tried to make it a big thing in the Philippines because they knew that Filipinos could never overtake the US
Oh my god.
in basketball. So they were like, if they start engaging in this sport, then we'll never have to worry about a rival coming from this country.
Okay, this has zero basis whatsoever, just your feeling.
Just my prejudice against Americans, I guess.
Which is also not true because South Sudan won against US.
Yeah, well, the US was looking at the wrong continent for perhaps rivals, clearly. You done messed up.
Yes. So, speaking of US and Filipinos wanting to excel, I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to excel in the basketball. Like, it's just physically, like we gotta go accept the fact that like physically, basketball is not made for us.
There's a
Like
disadvantage.
there is a biological disadvantage for us. Meanwhile, like
In gymnastics.
gymnastics, actually, Simone Biles, like the Kohei Mihamura, or I think the Yuzuru Hanyu of gymnastics. I'm sorry, I butchered that, but I know his name is Kohei.
And now that you butchered his name, I will not be able to remember his actual name.
His name is Kohei.
Yeah.
And like they're more in a smaller stature, which is more of the norm for Asian men, for Asians in general, right? So we could excel to a lot of places, a lot of sports as well.
Do you have a kid? Do you want them to succeed? Are they Filipino?
Mhm.
Get them in gymnastics, get them in judo, get them in skating if they're a woman. This will be good for them.
Yeah, I agree. So let's talk about Jake Jarman, who, according to the internet, might represent the Philippines, but like the repercussion that I can already anticipate is that he's not full blooded.
I mean, I'm already seeing it on Twitter specifically that people are like, oh, another Konyo who's going to be representing the Philippines but has benefited from all the resources of another country,
Mm-hmm.
which is like, do you understand that the Philippines do not invest in their athletes at all?
Yeah.
There is no support for athletes the way there is in Canada, the way there is in the US,
Even
and even
Canadian
then,
athletes are not
it
supported
depends
either.
on the sport,
Yeah.
frankly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if there is no structure in a country to support athletes to make sure that there is support for getting youth into sports early on and leading active lifestyles, developing a favorite sport, a sport that you want to excel at, and then also supporting them financially to be able to be an elite athlete, which takes so much money and so much time. They make it look easy. They really do. Looking at Yulo on the floor exercise, I'm like, damn, you're barely breaking a sweat, it looks like.
That is true.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Like second nature. And looking at Simone Biles, for example, it's like when she's doing the choreography elements, it's like that's just pure muscle memory.
Yeah.
She's done these moves 1,000 times or more.
She runs and she flies, and it's like you started thinking, does gravity exist for her?
Clearly not.
Because yeah, that's superhuman.
Truly.
Yeah. Anyway, how do we address that meaning, that mentality of, well, they're not Filipino enough, or they're not full blooded, and the notion of like purity and blood and where that is deriving from, which is power, which is politics. I can already hear my dad saying that, like, oh, siguro yun yung mga atleta na hindi nakapasa dun kunwari sa US or sa UK. So they downgrade and they went to the Philippines so that they can go to the Olympics. Which is, in this case, Jake Jarman has been champion representing UK, has made a
He
name for
proved
himself.
himself.
He is also champion in European. And so, like, a lot of people would probably think that he's downgrading if he were to represent the Philippines. But regardless, he's already on top of his shit. And, like, there
Why
are
are we
talks.
saying that it's downgrading, first of all?
Yeah, because Filipinos have inferiority complex. And so I think this is really a good way to call in everyone and stop with that divide and conquer that was deeply instilled, deeply planted in us by the colonizers. I mean, I will not fault you for this. We have been colonized for 400 years now. And so we never really had the chance to be self-determined, in a sense that in the same way that we don't even know our name. Just to let you know how much was taken away from us. We don't know our name. We are named, we have the Yuhan name, stranger's name. Veronica cannot be my name. It's a biblical name. It's an English name. Catholicism did not exist in our islands.
The Philippines?
The
Who
name
the fuck is Philip?
itself is the Philippines. It's from Felipe, Rey Felipe,
Spain.
the king, when they discovered and conquered the islands of the Philippines, which is also not true. There were numerous communities in the Philippines, both from north and south, that has never made contact with the colonizers. Anyway, that being said, the purity complex of, like, well, they're a quarter Filipino, so, but they were really proud of it and they put it all on their Instagram, so I guess we can accept it. That
Shay Mitchell.
exactly.
Vanessa Hudgens.
Oh my god.
Bruno Mars. Everyone's grasping at straws, frankly.
Which goes to show how much of wealthy we are in terms of social capital.
Mhm.
That the mere fact that you put the Filipino flag in your thumbnail on YouTube,
Mhm.
guaranteed you have thousands of views because Filipinos have a thirst and a yearn for international recognition.
To
And
be
so
validated.
and I feel that this Filipinos in the diaspora has finally seen or like have an open mindedness of like, hey, I also want to honor my mom or my dad or my grandpa or my, you know, like they are now in a sense of reckoning that they feel proud to also represent under the banner of the Philippines.
Mhm.
And I think that and I am also in the diaspora, so obviously some people would say that it's biased, but people from the homeland, there's a lot of rejection in terms of insecurity, but really that insecurity comes from where? Again, from the economic structures that was placed upon us for the benefits of the few. And until we address that, we will keep on dividing each other, and the colonizers' tool against us will continue to kulong,
Mm.
to corner us, to put us in cages. Yeah. That being said, let's go on and stop with the gatekeeping because all it does is really devoile that desperation and grasp of people from the homeland to hold on to being Filipino as a leverage, as a mean of power. I get to say that you are Filipino because I have never left the homeland. You did. You betrayed the homeland. And at
You
desperate
betrayed the
moments,
homeland and gave remittances, and that's 10% of our GDP.
you didn't leave your skill. You left with your skill set. You didn't help ambag or contribute to the economy or to the success of the now Philippines. So you do not get to represent the Philippines. And I think it feels, hello butterfly, whose soul is that? My ancestors. Yes. And so the desperation of it, in now analyzing it with a clearer mind, it just feels sad that again we have arrived into gatekeeping and nitpicking who we want to be Filipino.
Mhm.
I remember reading comments saying how like Finnegan and Huffman, that sounds very Filipino. And I'm like, and Ann Curtis and Solon Yusuf, you know? Like what are you talking about? There are foreign names, the Yuhan names, who's proudly Filipino, who never left the Philippines, who were born in the Philippines. So this is a clear double standard. And I think we're doing a disservice to diaspora Filipinos who kept on being denied being Filipino when they have grown up thinking that I have always been proud of being Filipino
Not just
because they
that, but
didn't have that notion of like inferiority complex.
and also because they grew up in, let's say, the US, Canada, where they're not seen as fully American.
Yes.
They're othered. So
Yep.
they have to turn to their Filipino identity because we're humans. We're always trying to define ourselves within our context.
I feel like the common ground here is that why are you against this person who equally has the same ambitions and goals and pride
Nationalism.
as others?
Yeah.
It hurts and it sucks to see it is what I could say.
Mm.
But there's that for being Filipino enough. Let's talk about the Algerian boxer though, because again, this is also a good segue and come back to our topic of pride
Mhm.
and the dangerous narrative of who is female and who is male.
Gender
Because a white
essentialism.
woman lost within 40 seconds.
You know what I love is that she said word for word, like, I've never been hit this hard in my life. And it's like, girl, you're at the Olympics.
Like, I've never
You're
been
gonna get
hit
beat.
this hard in my life, therefore you're a man and you're not a woman. And we all believe the white woman.
Do we? I
Well,
don't.
because the Algerian boxer is like facing a lot of backlash,
So much
and
backlash.
even in multiple platforms that I read comments,
For
they're all
anyone who listening who does know the situation, do you
yes.
want to elaborate?
Can you please elaborate?
Okay. So there is an Algerian boxer. I'm forgetting her name. I'm blanking. But she is intersex. And as far as I
Is
know,
she intersex?
yes, she is intersex.
Okay.
And one thing you need to know about Algeria is that transitioning is not legal there. No form of transitioning, whether it be social or medical, just not allowed. Their very existence is criminalized, basically. And so, as an intersex person, like many intersex people, they were assigned a gender at birth. And it just so happens that instead of having XX chromosomes, she has XY chromosomes. She has been assigned female at birth, grew up as a little girl, is now a woman. Why are the transphobes and the children's book authors specifically arguing about this? I thought gender is immutable and the gender you assigned at birth is the one that is true. Why are
And now
you
they're
all of a sudden
questioning the
flip
the
flopping
validity of the assigned at birth.
and calling her a woman?
This is isn't this what they wanted? They wanted labels, right? They wanted a clear label, female or male. She is labeled female. She was socialized as a woman, as a girl to a woman.
I want to call out these people because transphobia is a right wing ideology. It is part of a gender essentialist
Yeah.
perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And specifically, right wingers will always move the goalposts, right? So you have this clear cut case, but because a white woman was
Crying foul.
crying foul, got her feelings hurt, doing the sport that she trained for, it's not the first time she loses to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the first time she knows that that person is intersex, and that's what she's grasping at. And I don't want to minimize the fact that that woman is Italian. Italy currently has a very far right government and is going down the right of the way of fascism.
I mean,
Funnily
listen,
enough, they're the birthplace of fascism.
they named domestic workers as Filipinas. So what else? Like that explains a lot of things already. So
Their president is an actual witch. I'm sorry, she is despicable. And her entire campaign was running against immigrants and
yeah.
queer people. It's just thumbing her nose at all of the progress that Italy has done as a nation.
Mm-hmm.
Just ridiculous. And again, because white women tears are more valuable than the safety of people such as that Algerian boxer who's racialized
Mm-hmm.
and queer against her will, I guess. I don't know if she considers herself queer.
Yeah.
No one has brought this up. No one has asked her how she feels.
Until this white woman, can you imagine your life is bouleversé because this white woman lost because I'm stronger.
She
In a world class competition, this is the Olympics.
You were gonna get your ass beat at some point. You probably got your ass ended to you multiple times while you were training. There is no athlete out there who never got beat by somebody.
I mean, listen, who's that MMA fighter, Ronda Rousey?
Yeah.
Her signature is arm locking, and she submits people within like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the fastest was like about 40 or 20 seconds.
If she had gone to like the height of her fame more recently, I think she would have been the target of so much like transphobia allegations specifically. And I don't know if y'all have been on that side of the internet. I'm on Twitter too much and I see it a lot. Basically, people who argue that people like Taylor Swift or Michelle Obama are secretly trans.
Yeah.
And first of all, it's like a gotcha for them.
Yeah.
To the point.
It's like clickbait.
It's frankly brain rot. Like, you see a woman, there are pictures of Michelle Obama as a tiny baby dressed in like bows and pink, and you're gonna argue that that person was born a man. I don't
Again, we live in a
What is your
society of
deal?
doubts. This, I guess, I would say I wouldn't
Truth
give
doesn't exist anymore.
I wouldn't give credit to Trump, but I think Trump took it and torpedoed it, and now we live in a society of doubt.
Mhm.
And coming back to the Olympic season and Pride, it it as I mentioned, it's creating a dangerous precedent because moving forward now, because people are calling into like measures and stricter measures to like catch this.
And the IBA, the International Boxing Association, has awarded that Italian boxer a first place win,
Ew.
is what I saw
That
recently.
is absolutely enraging. I mean, at some point we're just always going to be questioning everything.
If you cry hard enough, you'll get a medal.
Yeah, the society of doubt is now really seeping in through all societies and very dangerous. I fear
It
I fear
goes
for
against
myself.
sports.
Yes, I fear for myself as someone who also like dress mask and femme here and there. I think I get away with it a lot because of my boobs. But coming back to Olympics, we have boxers who literally like came out and say like I'm a trans person. Please refer to me as he him, even though he's never taken any testosterone. He just looks like that,
Mhm.
But biologically he is female.
Mhm.
So what's going to happen to
He
him
is
then?
competing as a woman because he has no other choice.
Yep. So we still have two boxers, medal contention. We already have a secured bronze for sure for Ira Villegas, but we have Nesty who is still going to be competing for medal contention, and they're both very much lesbian looking, like the typical
The
tibo,
butchie.
And so looking forward and moving forward, what's going to be happening, especially in the boxing world? As we've touched a lot of points from the dangerous precedent of this, you're trans and you're not trans, and people are deciding for us now. I guess, but sure, we're free, right? And pride is a form of liberation. But who is being liberated here? That's a question that you can think of after you tune out from Radyo Kapwa on CKUT 90.3 FM. This is Everything's Politicai, hosted by Veronica and
Mathilde.
the wife. Exactly. And we are live on every first Wednesday of the month. So I'll see you again next month. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Pagmulat ng iyong mga mata, ang iyong isipan pa rin ay nasa tala. Binubulungan ng araw, bangon na, bangon na. Muling nakita, liwanag mong kakaiba. Lahat ng bigat ng kahapon ay nawala, nawala. Kung ikaw ay nangangamba dahil di ka katulad nila, huwag matakot, tumaliwas, ipakita kung sino ka, kung sino ka. Nag-iisa ka, wala nang iba. Lunurin mo ako sa iyong piling, o pwede bang dinggin aking hiling? Nag-iisa ka, wala nang iba. Sa iyong tahimik na tingin, nadarama lahat ng damdamin. Nag-iisa ka. Sa kislap ng iyong mga mata, tanaw ko ang pagkasa mong nangihina. Punasan ang mga luha, tahan na, tahan na. Kung ikaw ay nangangamba dahil di ka katulad nila, huwag matakot, tumaliwas, ipakita kung sino ka, kung sino ka. Nag-iisa ka, wala nang iba. Lunurin mo ako sa iyong piling, o pwede bang dinggin aking hiling? Nag-iisa ka, akin ka, ako'y sa'yo. Kay ganda mong pagmasdan, o sinta, napukaw mo aking mata. Hindi mo na kailangan pa na sumayaw, magsalita. Isang sulyap mo lang ako'y nabihag na. Di mo kailangang magsalita. Sa pagdating mo, sinta, parang umagang maliwanag. Ang tinig mo ay kay ganda. Di mo kailangang magsalita. Ako'y iyong ika'y aking, kay sarap mong kapiling. Di ko na palalampasin ating gabi. Di mo na kailangan pa na sumayaw, magsalita. Isang sulyap mo lang ako'y nabihag na. Di mo kailangang magsalita. Sa pagdating mo, sinta, parang umagang maliwanag. Ang tinig mo ay kay ganda. Di mo kailangang magsalita. Sa pagdating mo, sinta, bilang umagang maliwanag. Ang tinig mo ay kay ganda. Di mo kailangang magsalita.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Good afternoon everyone. My name is John Marvin Reyes. I am a youth leader and community organizer here bringing you important news back home in the Philippines. The article is from The Guardian with the title, Mac and Cheese for Life, Philippines Heartfelt Gift to Carlos Yulo After Double Olympic Gold. The Filipino gymnast Carlos Yulo's historic double gold medal win at Paris Olympics has been celebrated across the Philippines with businesses showering the athletes with gifts from cash and a new home to a lifetime supply of mac and cheese. Ferdinand Marcos, the president, said the Philippines had witnessed history when Yulo became the first Filipino man to win an Olympic gold medal after competing in the artistic gymnastic floor exercise on Saturday. He is the only second Filipino athlete to win an Olympic gold after weightlifter Hidilyn Diaz in 2020. On Sunday, Yulo scored to the top of the podium again in the vault, then becoming the first Filipino to win 2 golds and at a single Olympics. Carlos was described as a sports hero and national treasure by the Speaker of the Lower House, Ferdinand Martin Romualdez. Yulo will be given 6 million Philippine pesos and a congressional medal and is due to receive 10 million pesos under a law that promises incentives to athletes. Private sector comprises big and small announced a flurry of gifts, including a fully furnished three-bedroom unit worth 32 million pesos or 552 US dollars in Taguig City, Metro Manila. Yulo was also offered lifetime supplies of free buffets, baked mac and cheese, and chicken nasal, a grilled chicken dish by various chain restaurants. A car lights specialist offered him a free set of headlights and fog lights in his vehicle, while a wedding photographer pledged free services to the 24-year-old, and another business offered a lifetime supply of phone cases. A Filipino doctor pledged free consultation and endoscopic procedures for Yulo when he turned 45, as well as to any patients in need whom Yulo would like to endorse. Yulo collapsed to ground in tears when he realized he had secured the gold on Saturday. "I don't know what to say," he said. "We are a really small country, so to be able to get a gold medal for us is a big win for us. I dedicated this to Filipino people who supported me." Yulo has been offered franchises for a coffee and leveraging businesses and a 10 million brand ambassadorship contract for a beauty clinic, according to company announcements on social media. Those who share the same name as Yulo are also in luck, as celebrations sweep the country. Cafes and restaurants have offered free meals and milkshakes to anyone named Carlos, Kaloy his nickname, or Adriel his middle name, while a music venue offered free entry over the weekend to anyone whose name begins with C. The article was written by Rebecca Ratcliffe and published on August 5, 2024. Thank you so much for listening. Maraming salamat sa pakikinig. Once again, this is John Marvin Reyes, delivering you Philippine news from abroad.
Matagal na kitang sinusundan, tinititigan at hindi naiwasan na ikaw ay titignan sa malayuan, at pinag-iisipan ko kung anong paraan para ikaw ay malapitan. Kaso malayo ang pagitan, hanggang kailan kaya mag-aapang ko may mapapala sa aking ginagawa na pagkatumaya ay huwag papahiya.
Ewan ko kung paano ko bibit-biting yung pagtingin ko, kasi kung hanggang tingin lang ay bitin. Ayoko rin naman to kimkiming, kaso mukhang hindi ko pa rin to sa'yo kayang banggitin. At baka istapin mo lang at di mo pansinin, bitin kahit ano pa man ang aking inumin. Yung tapang ay wala pa rin, san ko hihiramin? Kahit maglasing wala rin, kung pagising ko duwag pa rin. Paano sasama kung hindi ako nag-aaya? Paano tatama kung hindi ako tumataya? Minsan iniisip ko na wag na lang kaya, kaso yung isip ko ay nagbabago din maya-maya. At sobra sa pag-asa, kulang sa kumpiyansa, kaya mukhang malabong magka-tsansa. Gusto ko lang naman ay maging popoy mo ba siya? Yun ang matagal ko ng pantasya.
Matagal na kita sinusundan, tinititigan at hindi maiwasan na ikaw ay titignan
Sa malayuan,
at pinag-iisipan ko kung anong paraan para ikaw ay malapitan. Kaso malayo ang pagitan, hanggang kailan kaya mag-aabang ko may mapapala sa aking ginagawa na pagkatumaya ay huwag mapahiya.
di lang ako kumikibo, matagal nang tumitibok ang puso ko para sa'yo, kaso minsan kumikirot. Di ko kasi masabi, di ako umaarte lang, di ko rin alam kung papaano aatake, kasi baka naman ako ay tablahin. Kaya tinatak sa isip ko na wag nang tangkain, panaginip lang lahat ng yun. Ako ay tambalin para gising, na kung tamang panahon antayin ko na lamang. Kasi wala namang masama sa magtiyaga, kung para sa'kin ka edi mag-aabang ako hanggang sa merong mapala. Kaso wala naman mapapala, lalo't pag wala akong ginawa. Tsaka baka mamuli lang ang mata pag nagantay ng himala. Di naman malabo na mapansin mo kapag di ako nagtatago. Kailangan ko lamang na maging matapang kung gusto ko na magkatayo. Wala naman kasing ibang paraan ko sa takot ay magpapatalo. Kawawa lang ako, puro lang tingin sa malayo. Kailangan ko yata magbago kasi
Matagal na kitang sinusundan, tinititigan at hindi maiwasan na ikaw ay titignan
sa malayuan,
at pinag-iisipan
business. Kasama kaya kita ngayon sa Massachusetts. Ooh. Inaaming minsan aking iniisip kung naging tayo, kung di ka lang noon ba dapat kita kinalimutan? Ibaon sa nakaraan paalam. Sunod sa bawat galaw, hindi na maliligaw. Mundo'y magiging ikaw. Nais kong magpakalasing dahil wala ka na. Nakatingin sa salamin at nag-iisa, nakatanim pa rin ang gumamelang binalik mo sa'kin nung tayo'y maghiwalay. Ito'y katulad ng damdamin ko, kahit buhusan mo ng beer, ayaw pang mamatay. Giliw, wag mo sanang limutin ang mga araw na hindi sana naglaho. Mga anak at bahay nating pinaplano, lahat ng ito'y nawala nung iniwan mo ko. Kaya ngayon, ibuhos na ang beer sa aking lalamunan, upang malunod na ang puso kong nahihirapan. Bawat patak, anong sarap, ano ba talagang mas gusto ko? Ang beer na to o ang pag-ibig mo? Nais kong magpakasabog dahil ulats ako. Kahit ano Kahit tambucho, kukuha ko ng bira't ipapakulo sa kaldero't lalanghapin ang usok nito. Lahat ay gagawin upang hindi ko na isiping nag-iisa na ako. Ibuhos na ang di sa aking lalamunan upang malunod na ang puso kong nahihirapan. Bawat patak, anong sarap, ano ba talagang mas gusto ko? Ang beer na to o ang pag-ibig mo? Buhos na ang beer sa aking lalamunan upang malunod na ang puso kong nahihirapan. Bawat patak, anong sarap, ano ba talagang mas gusto ko? Ang beer na to, ang beer na to, ang beer na to, ang pag-ibig mo.
Salut à tout Montréal, je suis Fanny Christo, votre animateur de Radio Kapwa sur 90.3 FM à CKUT, et nous sommes le mercredi 14 août 2024. Aujourd'hui, today, as usual, I'm going to hit y'all with what's happening in our lovely city. So, like I said last week, it's August and we're nearing the end of the summer, and before you know it, we're going to be feeling the crunch of leaves under our feet. So, y'all better get out there and get that vitamin D, okay? Okay, so let's get going with the community announcements. So make sure you got something to write with and write on, or whatever scheduling app y'all use, so y'all can get ready to mark your calendars. First off, tomorrow, Thursday, August 15, at Argo Bookstore from 7 to 9 p.m., Home is in the Body presents a community workshop on how to talk about Palestine with family and loved ones. As Home is in the Body, 2S LGBTQIA+, introduces a guide of allyship to our positionalities, identities as arrivants on stolen lands of indigenous peoples, a grappling of how that navigation lends itself to collective support for the liberation of Palestine. To sign up, and if you're interested to volunteer or you just want to find out more about this event, you can visit their Instagram page at Home is in the Body. Okay, the next day, Friday, August 16, at Head and Hands office, which is at 3465 Avenue Benny, starting at 5 p.m., Head and Hands, in collaboration with Agir Montreal, is offering a labor law workshop. Priority will be given to LGBTQ plus migrants. So to find out more about this event and to get the registration link, you can go to their Instagram page at Agir Montreal. After that, going into Saturday, SMD, so Saturday, August 17, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Freedom is a Must Foundation will be raising funds for Autism Montreal by way of a bike ride on the Lachine Canal. They are asking the community to come out and help them raise awareness about autism spectrum disorder. At the end of the bike ride, they'll be having a barbecue in René Lévesque Park. So at the barbecue, there'll be a raffle giveaway, games, and much more. This sounds like a fun event for a good cause, so, you can find out more and, go to their Instagram page, Freedom is a Must Foundation. After that, actually the next day, Sunday, August 18, at Poubelle Magnifique from 3 to 8 p.m. is an event that I'll be going to, Sunday Shorties, with guest DJs, DJ Aaron ED and DJ Hello Honey Bun, our fellow Kapwa, as well as DJ resident producers Fly Lady Die, D-Eclectic, One DJ J Fro, and you know what, this is sure not to disappoint. I've been to previous events, it's always a good time, good vibes, so yeah, if you see me, say what's up. Okay, so that's it for the upcoming events. In the near future, let's skip a little forward for the last 2 weekends of August. So August 24, 25, August 31, and September 1, Marché de Nuit Asiatique is back for their 8th edition of their epic event, which will take place the last 2 weekends of August, as I said. Join them as Chinatown transforms into a vibrant Asian night market at Oasis. Chinatown is part of Heart of the Island Moments, and yeah, for more info, you can visit their Instagram pages at Night Market MTL and Mural Festival, because it is brought to you by Mural Festival also. Finally, this last announcement isn't actually an event, but more, a call out. The Black Community Resource Center, BCRC, and their research team, Black in Quebec, is proud to announce the launch of their recruitment drive for the ENGEN project, a long-term project that aims to understand how mental health, intergenerational connection, and climate change all interplay and weave and impact the English-speaking Black community in Montreal. If you identify as Black Anglophone, you're over 16 years old, and you're living in the greater Montreal area, come share your thoughts with them. And you can find out more info on their Instagram page at BCRCMTL. So yeah, like I said, I'll be at Sunday Shorty, so catch me there, because you won't catch me for a bit after that. I'll be on vacation, and I believe the home slice Nikki will be covering for me on the next episode. Actually, speaking of which, it's going to be a Nikki takeover with a Nikki curated playlist and a Nikki podcast every third Wednesday of the month going forward. So shouts to our new team member, and welcome aboard. With that said, y'all come back next week and tune in on the same station, same time, etc. 90.3 FM, CKUT from 2 to 3 p.m. every Wednesday. Peace and love, y'all. Stay blessed. This is Fenny Cristo once again.